Okay, that feeling.
Yeah.
Right before you have to speak in public, I think most people know it. Even experienced speakers feel that little flutter, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's pretty universal.
So let's just dive right in today. We're going deep on, well, not just coping with that fear, but really getting the upper hand on it.
Mm-hmm.
We've pulled together some really practical strategies from sources aimed at building confident speakers.
Good stuff, yeah.
And our mission today, it's simple, really. We want to give you some concrete steps, things you can actually do so you feel more in command. Maybe even, dare I say, look forward to that next speech.
Wouldn't that be something? And it's interesting because the goal isn't necessarily to like eliminate nerves entirely.
Right.
That energy, as we'll probably get into, can actually be useful. This deep dive is more about understanding where the fear comes from and then importantly, how to manage it effectively. Maybe even redirect it.
Okay, so let's unpack the why. Why does this happen? It's not like we're facing down a predator up there, usually. So what triggers this whole reaction?
That's a really good question. Because you're right, the stakes aren't usually physical danger, but our brains, they can still react strongly to what they see as social threats.
Ah, okay. Social threats.
Yeah. The sources we looked at point to a few common triggers. Big one is uncertainty, new situation, unfamiliar audience. That's classic anxiety fuel.
Makes sense.
Then there's the risk of failure, right? That internal pressure we put on ourselves to be perfect.
Oh, yeah. Definitely feel that one.
And, well, let's be honest, the fear of looking foolish, or maybe just boring the audience. That can be a really powerful driver for nervousness. These are kind of deep-seated social worries.
And it's such a physical thing, too, isn't it? Just talking
Yeah.
about it, you can almost feel that surge. Our research mentioned things like faster heart rate, the classic butterflies,
Yeah.
even shaking sometimes. It's like your whole body goes on high alert.
It really does. And understanding that it is a natural physiological response is, well, it's kind of the first step. It's your body reacting to stress. That adrenaline, the blood flow, it's meant to give you energy. So the interesting bit here is reframing it. Instead of thinking, oh no, I'm failing, see those physical signs as just energy. Energy you can learn to handle.
I like that reframe. Energy, not just panic.
Yeah.
So how do we actually do that? How do we harness it, dial down the fear part?
Well, the materials we reviewed are pretty consistent on a few key techniques. Maybe the most basic, but super important, is just getting experience, practice.
Right. Like anything else.
Exactly. The more you do it, the less scary it feels. Speaking repeatedly, even informally, it chips away at that fear and genuinely builds confidence over time.
Okay, that tracks. Like muscle memory, but for talking in front of people. But what if you don't have, constant chances for big presentations? How can you get that practice?
Good point. The info suggests some really accessible ways. Practicing in front of a mirror sounds simple, but it makes you aware of your body language, your expressions. Rehearsing with family or friends, that gives you a safe space for feedback.
A friendly audience.
Exactly. And for something more structured, places like Toastmasters clubs are fantastic. Regular speaking, constructive feedback, or even just volunteering for small updates at work or in a group. It all adds up.
Those are really doable things.
Yeah.
Okay, now, something that jumped out at me from the sources was this idea of visualization, using your imagination. How does that work against fear?
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? It taps into how our brains work. The idea is that vividly imagining something can actually create neural pathways similar to if you'd really done it.
Huh, really?
Sort of. By repeatedly mentally rehearsing a successful speech, you're basically creating this positive memory. So when the real thing happens, your brain's like, oh yeah, we've done this before, it went well. It feels less alien, less threatening.
Wow. Okay, so walk me through that. What would a good visualization look like?
The advice is usually to find a quiet spot, close your eyes, really get into it, picture the whole thing. You're introduced, you walk up confidently, maybe smile. You pause, take a couple of deep, centering breaths. Then you imagine yourself speaking clearly, hitting your points, feeling confident.
See the audience.
Yes, see them engaged, listening, picture your own confident gestures, and then visualize the end finishing strong, maybe getting applause, feeling that sense of accomplishment. The key is making it vivid, detailed, and doing it regularly beforehand.
I can see how that mental run-through could really build a sense of, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
It's like prepping your brain. Now, what about the physical stuff? The racing heart, the shaky hands in the actual moment.
Right, the in-the-moment stuff. This is where relaxation and breathing techniques come in big time. The mind-body connection is so strong, anxiety equals physical tension.
Definitely.
Shoulders up by your ears.
Exactly. So things like isometric exercises can help. The sources mention this basically tensing a muscle group without moving, holding, then releasing, like pushing your palms together hard, then letting go, or clenching your fists, then relaxing.
Ah, okay. Discrete tension release. Yeah. Simple stretches too, reaching up high, bending down, shoulder rolls, neck rolls, anything to release that stored tension.
And the breathing, everyone says, take a deep breath. But is there a specific way to breathe that works best?
Yes, there is. The emphasis is on diaphragmatic breathing. So breathing deep into your belly, not shallow chest breaths.
Okay.
A good way to learn is lying down, put a book on your stomach. When you inhale deeply, the book should rise. When you exhale, it falls.
Got it. Belly breaths.
That deeper breathing slows your heart rate, helps with that feeling of breathlessness, and bonus, it actually supports your voice better. Makes you sound more projected, more confident.
So focusing on those deep breaths makes sense. Now, let's say you're doing all this, but inside you still feel like a bundle of nerves. Is it possible to look confident even if you don't totally feel it?
That is such a key point. And yes, absolutely. Experienced speakers often feel nervous, but they know how to appear composed. By consciously using those relaxation methods we just talked about and really focusing on their physical presence, the sources point out that audiences, they're often completely unaware of your internal state, the sweaty palms, the pounding heart.
Really? They can't tell.
Not usually, no, not if you carry yourself confidently. If you walk purposefully, stand tall, make eye contact, they perceive the external signals.
So it's about managing the outward impression even while you're managing the internal storm.
Precisely. And things like purposeful movement, walking to a different spot on stage, using gestures deliberately that can actually help you release some nervous energy constructively. Plus, it holds the audience's attention.
Instead of just pacing, right?
Right. And maintaining a good stance, balanced, relaxed, but upright, it just reads as more grounded and confident. Avoid the fidgeting.
Okay, deliberate movement, solid stance. Got it. Let's circle back to preparation. We touched on practice, but how does just general, thorough preparation fit into managing fear?
Oh, it's foundational. Honestly, being well prepared is one of the most powerful anxiety reducers there is. When you know your material inside out, you just feel more secure.
Stands to reason.
And the resources also mention, if possible, getting familiar with the actual speaking space beforehand. Check the equipment. Little things that eliminate unknowns on the day.
Reduces those last-minute surprises.
Exactly. And importantly, it's about practicing your ideas and key points, not trying to memorize a script word for word.
Why not memorization? Seems safer.
It can actually make you more nervous. If you forget one word, the whole thing can derail. Plus, it often sounds stiff, unnatural. Practicing the flow of ideas lets you stay conversational, more flexible.
Okay, knowing the message, not just the lines. That makes sense.
Yeah. And the advice is also to push through your practice runs. Finish them, even if you stumble. Note the tricky spots, come back to them later. Don't get bogged down.
Builds resilience, maybe.
Kind of, yeah. And getting feedback helps immensely, too. Ask a trusted friend or colleague to listen, or record yourself audio or video. It's tough to watch yourself sometimes, but so valuable for spotting things you might miss. All that prep builds real confidence.
Okay, so summing up a bit, we've covered understanding why we get scared, using practice and visualization to build comfort, managing the physical jitters with relaxation and breathing, projecting confidence even when you're nervous inside, and then the huge role of solid preparation.
Yeah.
It feels like a pretty complete toolkit.
It really is. And the core message, I think, is that this fear, it doesn't have to stop you. By understanding what's happening and actually using these techniques, you can feel much more in control.
Yeah.
And remember, even the pros feel nerves. The difference is they've learned how to manage that energy, maybe even use it.
So next time that nervous feeling hits before speaking, maybe instead of seeing it as a warning sign, try to see it as fuel, potential energy. That's a powerful shift.
It is. And that brings up a final thought, really, for you listening. Think about these different techniques. Which one or maybe two kind of jumps out at you? What feels like something you could actually try? Maybe start there. Experiment a little. See that next speaking opportunity not just as something to get through, but as a chance to actively build this skill, this confidence. It's a skill that honestly pays off in so many parts of life.